All right, I'm going to start this video with something controversial. I am against the use of AI for note-taking. But I want to be really clear, I'm not against the use of AI. I'm using AI in my daily workflows. I've developed a podcast using AI. I use AI to help me keep up with the research literature. I think AI is an incredible tool. So what's my problem with AI for clinical notes? Now, there's a range of different issues around privacy and security of data. I think they are all solvable. My problem with the use of AI in notes is that it's inefficient. It takes longer to do your AI notes properly than it does to do them another way. Now, how's that possible? People are flocking towards these AI note programs because they see them as time savers. I see that the problem is that people haven't learned how to take notes efficiently. Taking notes should not be a 3-page narrative. One of the most important things that we do in our note-taking is deciding what to leave out. I want to just highlight 2 examples here to make my point. The first one, have a look at this news article here. This is from last year, and this involves a psychologist whose notes were subpoenaed in relation to a high-profile case. The headline is, "Minister views accusations as a political witch hunt," which paints that person in a pretty unfavourable light. Now, I have no doubt that the person said that. I have no doubt that that was transcribed accurately by the psychologist. My question is that important information clinically, or is it interesting but useless information? My contention is that many psychologists' notes are littered with interesting but useless pieces of information. And not only does this raise issues for them in terms of privacy, as we can see in this example here, it also raises issues in that they're incredibly time consuming. By learning how to take notes with a template that involves tick and flicks, I can do a session note in between 45 seconds and 90 seconds. I have timed myself with AI note programs, and it takes me longer than 90 seconds to remove all of the things that I don't want in the AI note. What sort of things might we be looking to remove? Well, firstly, the interesting but useless information. Let me give an example that came up for me, not in a clinical context, but in a meeting. This was a meeting that I had with another allied health professional. This person was experimenting with the use of AI notes, and she had incorporated AI notes into the Zoom meeting that we were having. We were waiting for a third person to attend the meeting. And while we were waiting for the third person to attend, the 2 of us were just chatting. We were chatting about a number of things, including the fact that her divorce had recently come through. As a throwaway line, she said she was quite happy with the divorce settlement because her and her accountant had worked really hard to make sure that the valuation on the business was as low as possible, making sure that her husband got the smallest settlement possible. Now, I have no way of knowing whether that's true or not. I have no idea if it was a throwaway remark that people make as typical parts of conversation while they're waiting for a third person to arrive. The AI didn't know either, because 10 minutes after the meeting, I got an email which basically included this person admitting to fraudulent behaviour, because there in black and white, it said that her and the accountant had manipulated their accounts in order to make sure that her husband got as small a settlement as possible. If that note was obtained as part of their divorce proceedings, the damage is incalculable. As a psychologist, it is not our job to record a verbatim transcript of everything that's said. We have to make judicious decisions about what we include and what we don't include. And for me, I find it much easier to start with a template that guides me as to what to include than to start with an AI transcribed note that then I've got to remove a whole bunch of controversial things from. Have a think about your AI notes and think about how much work are you putting into them afterwards to edit them down to only what is clinically relevant rather than what is interesting but useless.